So this question is a very light-hearted question. Like, what steps do you take to maintain consistency in self-studies? We do many other academic activities such as internships, semester works, exams. Some read pop sci books. Some do puja, or some do some like to play cricket. So how do we maintain consistency while studying? And to add this, I would also like that there are ups and downs in every schedule. Like you schedule to finish a book by a week or a month, but it doesn't go so. So while you have encountered a minima, how do you guys like to boost yourself up to overcome that minimum? Yeah, over to anyone who would like to answer this first. Like Bhavya, starting from you.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I have already like in bachelor's I have done internships, and I have not yet joined any master's program, so I don't know the gymnastics of grad students and what they face in their curriculum, like how they manage. But yeah, for undergrad, I can say that what all internships we do in undergrad, it's mostly because we need to have some mark on our CV, right? We don't do some kind of serious internship like which will result into some new results and so on. So if that's the case, then there can be two cases. One is that your internship is in an area which is broad enough in which many of the researchers are working. Okay, so then what you tend to do is you can tend to overlook your self-study and focus on your internship, because from that you can get some relevant skills, and those skills are appreciated in general. As I said, that that work is broad enough. But if your internship is in a narrow field which very less researchers are interested in, for example, many undergrads have to do that because again there is this thing which we need on our CV, and we don't think much about what all quality work which we will be doing. We just need an internship. So if you are doing that kind of internship, then I think that sticking in a narrow field and sacrificing your self-study would be a bad thing. So if you are doing that kind of internship, then focus more on your self-study and just dedicate enough time to your internship so that you can have a small output for that, maybe a report or a publication and so on. But yeah, you devote to your self-study and don't put up much if your internship is of that kind. So now, according to my experience, I luckily I had opportunity to do both kind of internships. So in TIFR, I was offered an internship which was based on path integrals, and I didn't knew path integrals. So that was a nice opportunity for a person from my background to learn something, some topic which is not taught typically in undergrad, which were path integrals. So I learned those things, and it benefited me a lot. But when I did my second internship in Pune, ISI Pune, that was mainly on phenomenology and experimental work. And so obviously completely devoting to an experimental work, given my interest is in theory, sacrificing self-study won't make much sense. So then what I did was I talked to people who were doing theory there, students mainly, and tend to interact with them a lot, continued my self-study on theory, and did enough internship, did enough effort in internship so as to present a reasonable report to the advisor. Obviously, it didn't resulted into a publication, but yeah, if you see in long run, so yeah, for undergrad, this is the thing. Obviously, I don't really know the juggle which is there in grad level. So yeah, maybe other panelists can add to that.
Yeah, thank you, Bhavya. Over to you, Soumya. Would you like to add something to this notion?
Most of the things are covered. So what I do generally, I have exams, I have classes to take and everything. When I read something, so for textbook, I mark most of the things And so when I have time, see, I don't have time to go forward and read some new chapter or new pages. I spend 5 to 10 minutes and read the old things. So that gives me a confidence that I am still on the level or on the same page. Because what happens if you don't read what you have already read, then you forget those things. And after 1 or 2 months, when you start reading these things, you kind of have to start over from the beginning again. So, what you do when you don't have to read the new chapters and you don't have to time to read the new chapters, then just take 5 or 10 minutes and just brush up previous chapters. What you have already know, what you have already uh, read. And the second point is, if you can do so, try to solve at least one problem. Suppose you have read some 1 or 2 chapters, try to solve at least 1 or 2 problems from this chapter. If you don't have time to read, say 1 or 2 hours to start a new chapter, just have 1 or 2 problems and try to solve that. Then you will brush up what you have already knew. Right. So this is the 2 points I want to make. Yeah.
Adesh, you are muted.
Yeah, Soumya, that covers most of the things. But I would still like to ask if Chintan would like to add something to this.
Yeah, I also think most of the things are covered. So yeah, so basically there are two kinds of semester works which we are talking here. One is, as already Bhavya said, that semester works, and the other one is graduate student. So if you are a graduate student, mostly the things which you are interested, if you are doing physics, obviously, then the subjects which you will be doing are the subjects which you are interested in. So yeah, I mean that will be the motivation to study those subjects. So that's how you can maintain. And if to maintain consistency, it might also sometimes be helpful to jump from one subject to another. If you are like, if you might have motivation to do some subject, but it's common to be bored sometimes. So maybe go through different subjects if you are bored. Yeah, that's all. Nothing much.
Okay. Thank you, Chintan. That covers most of it. So yeah, that's the end of the questions, which we thought would be enough to get your doubts cleared at this moment of time. And with this ending, we would like to have any questions which are from the chat group, which are from the chats. I would like to ask moderators to take over the podium and cater to those curiosities. And also, if panelists have somewhere mentioned that this thing is trivial, I do not like to answer this, this is very subjective, you could throw whatever you want to ask. So over to you, panelists. Over to you, sorry, moderators. Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. So now we would move to the question and answer session by the audience. So anybody would like to unmute and ask the question instead, or I may read them up. Divyanshu, are you there in the meet? Divyanshu Notial. Okay, so the question is, he's asking what is more important, that is reading, which is necessary for the upcoming exam, or to start from the basics and give some time to develop the basic skills and the basics. Yeah. So that's the question. Anyone? Panelist?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Am I audible?
Yeah. So, the answer is depends on from where which situation you are. Suppose you have an exam in next week or next 7 to 10 days, then you should be more focusing on the results, the things the exam will come. If you don't understand that thing, just memorize the thing and you need to pass the exam, right? Once the exam has over, you have plenty of time to then you try to uh, clear the doubts and the basics. So this depends on the time. And the best thing is in the beginning of the semester, if you want, you can clear these doubts at the beginning of the semester or after the ending of the semester. But during the exams, I prefer don't means try to focus on the exams because the exams are important. So in Indian system, marks are also important. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, true. Shaunak, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
My question is especially regarding mathematical physics. While studying, there are two aspects that I observe. One is the philosophical discussion, and other is the problem solving. So, while taking up an subject, it happens that if we indulge too much into philosophical discussions, the problem solving might hamper, and the vice versa. So, eventually, we don't get the feeling of completeness. So, how to overcome this?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Your question is very relevant. So I want to answer that. See, if you, there are very few papers and very few journal, that is physics and philosophy is another journal. I think history and philosophy are. So they in those papers they having some papers on the philosophical aspect of of the certain things. So like the interpretation of quantum mechanics. This is a very philosophical topic and very controversial topic. We don't know which one is correct, right? And besides that, but the standard notion is Copenhagen interpretation is correct, and we all solve the problems in the Copenhagen interpretation. So what you can do that most of the time you try to solve problem having a grasp of the thing, but regarding your philosophical thing, what I do that before going to the sleep this thing arises, just read some good books, some read the best selling books. Like a very good book is I think Physics and Philosophy by Heisenberg, and there are some books, so read those books, then you will have to clear the doubt of philosophical thing. But the philosophical doubts will arise every time to you, but don't give that much time, means your uh, valuable time, like the morning session and the afternoon session, this time you give to the problem solving thing. Like when you are tired, you are about to sleep, then spend some time on this philosophical issue, right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other inputs from other panelists regarding this?
I'm not sure if it's funny or relevant. When your career is at stake, for example, you are building, you're doing research, or when you're doing masters and you're doing PhD, and when you're a grad student, when you have responsibilities in your hand to finish the problem, then it's not good to allocate so much of your time to understanding the meaning or the interpretation of it. I think when you are a tenured prof, that you have grad students to do your problem solving, then you can allocate your time to be a philosopher and think about interpretations and write papers in that direction. When there is no, when it doesn't affect directly, then when you are a tenured prof and fine, your life is settled, then you start thinking about in this direction. When you're a grad student, you start thinking in this, you may not become a prof. So
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, Ganesh. You know that when you are some milestone achiever like Leonard Susskind, whatever you means right, that gets accepted. When I see a paper of Susskind which is accepted on the same day it was sent, right? So this is ridiculous. Means how can a paper be accepted on the same day? But this is a Susskind kind of thing. So whatever he wrote, most of the things get accepted. So that's the thing that Ganesh is telling. That very good thing. If we are like doing masters, doing PhD, and these things, we try to have more on the problem solving, putting some numerical or mathematical papers rather than the philosophical things. Yeah. Sumedha, over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Neetu Ranjan, do you want to unmute yourself and ask?
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Actually, my doubt is pretty basic. Actually, the thing is, we can't do physics without maths. Like solving numericals is an integral part. Like means any topic you take, be it quantum mechanics or any classical mechanics, you have to solve problems. So the thing is, I mean, personally, I kind of I'm a bit hesitant while solving problems. I mean, if there are example problems which already have solution, they're like fine, okay. I mean, the way I'm thinking or the approach I'm considering or I'm thinking about, I can cross check with the sample problems. Oh, so what I thought is right, and I got to the conclusion in a right manner. But then, when you in general you try to solve questions, like what are the approach you kind means one must take or one should take, like before solving problems, so that you can get over this anxiety of yours, like am I doing it right, or whether the answer I'm getting is due to the right reasoning or stuff like that. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible. May I answer it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So first of all, the answer is that it's not that you are not able to solve the question; it's that you are anxious. It's always the case that you're not in an exam. Okay, when you're doing problems on your own, do not look at the solution directly. Just try it out, just for the sake of trying out. You will feel anxiety only when you're in an exam. For example, if you would have taken any national level test like JEST or JAM or anything, there is real time pressure, and there is that you feel anxious that you will not be able to solve and you lose the rank. Okay, you need to get over this anxiety by simulating it. How will you simulate it? For example, when you're doing problems, do it on your own, thinking that this might be an exam, but it doesn't matter whether if I get it wrong. Okay. First of all, you need to get out of this anxiety state. And second thing, usually the example problems that you encounter in a textbook are either a basic version or a simpler version of what exactly is the problems in the exercise, right? So let's suppose there are 15 problems in an exercise. Try out the first 3. Do not try just one and go back looking for solutions. Try the first 3, and if you still don't get it, go back and look for solutions. Then try the next 3. Okay, you will get an intuition of what the author's problem setting criteria is, and you will understand how to attack these problems. Okay, first set us criteria, understand the criteria of what's happening, how to solve the problem, and then start doing it every single day. It's a muscle. Okay, you have to practice it to get to make it bigger. Okay, you have to do it every single day, and then you will get used to this fact. You can't read 15 textbooks and expect that you go to an exam and you will answer it properly. Unless you do it, practice problems every single day, you will not be able to do it in an exam. You will become anxious and you will definitely do bad at the exam. So do it every single day. Understand how to solve the problem by looking at the solution. And I mean, not 15 solutions, but see the first 3 solutions, try to solve the rest 12. Then you'll be able to build up the criteria how this guy is asking. Okay. And brutally speaking, if you're still not able to do it, you simply didn't understand the concept, that something this just didn't fit right to you. Go back to the textbook and start reading again. Okay.
Yeah, I want to add just a small point that when you are solving a new problem, then you might feel that, okay, this is not correct. You don't have, because from the exercise, the answers is not given, or only the answer part is given. You don't know that problem is right or wrong. So what you do, take a picture of your solution and send some of your best friend, which you think that they might know the answer or they might cross verify you, and send some of your professors, right? So first few days you will be sometimes say that okay, you have done totally wrong, but after a few days you know that okay, that you are getting some confidence, right? Someday after 3 or 4 days of getting repeatedly wrong, one day you get it right, right? So then that will give you the confidence and the anxious thing. And as Ganesh said, that you have to do it regularly, right? Don't feel anxious that what if my answer is wrong. Just do it, take a picture and send to your friends and some of your colleagues or whatever it is. Or you can post to some of the Facebook group, your WhatsApp group, right? So that's the thing. Yeah, Sumedha.
So if I may
Yeah.
add something, sorry, Sumedha. So if I may add something, I would like to say that when you try to attempt a problem and you don't get that, well, you try multiple times and then you go for a solution and then you check the solution. Well, that's knowing the solution like doesn't really solve the issue. Like once you know the solution, you uh, try to ponder and introspect as to why you couldn't answer that. You know the theory, you read the theory, this just applying that, like why did you fail that? So you had everything at your disposal, you had the whole textbook, you read it maybe a half an hour ago or so, but you couldn't really answer that. So you keep doing that multiple times, you'll actually realize some pattern as to why you're failing to apply that, or why you're messing up in your ex, why you're getting the wrong answer. That could enlighten you more. I would say this introspection helps a lot. I was suggesting in the group earlier, it did tell me something about how I'm messing up in my exams and then sudden problems altogether. So that thing, like maybe take it upon yourself that okay, so why particularly I'm not doing this. You keep doing that a lot of times, and then you realize, and it might hit you that okay, so this is why, this is a pattern here, and what why did I adapt this pattern, and what could I do to prevent this from happening in future? So that could shed some light upon that. And yeah, we have some more people. It's like Rishabh, would you like to join and say something? Rishabh, you there?
Possibly
Okay,
the best person to answer.
probably, yeah.
Don't be shy, Rishabh.
So, anyways, yeah, if he's uncomfortable, let's just see. Yeah, all right. Let's move ahead. Sumedha, take over.
Yeah, thank you. So moving on to the next question. Someone is asking, can he or she take a break for working on books? That so working on books, yeah, that's pretty much the question.
Sorry, taking a break for as in
Dwij, he asked this question.
taking a
He's
break
in the
as in
meet.
for taking a break
Working
as
on
in for
books, he
okay,
wrote
books.
working on books, probably.
Books,
Maybe
I don't know. Probably to sacrifice a year for books, I don't know how productive that would be. Maybe not worth it, I guess. But then, yeah, if you're maybe making a switch from engineering to physics and you want to learn holistic, and you can, more importantly, afford to take a break with your financial status or age issues or whatever, maybe you can. I know one or two people who have taken the break. Yeah, I mean that's fine, I guess, if you can really afford to that. But otherwise, if it's important or something, if you would ask me, I would definitely say it's not a necessary thing to do all this, because a lot of our guys are doing really good in the IITs over there. So you can
Yeah.
cope
So
up with that.
yeah, so I want to add one point that taking a break is sometimes becomes boring if you are reading in home. So if you are really want to take a break, then try to involve yourself with some internship with under some professor. After doing bachelor's or master's, if you are trying to, if you are want to make a 1 year break, so involve that 1 year with some internship with some guide or some person. So in your CV you can show that in 1 year you they will while in your job or in that thing, So they will ask what you have done in 1 year. So if you tell them that I have read these books, so they will not understand. So if you do some internship, so you will learn something, and beside you will have plenty much of time because you don't have an exam and semester to read all the necessary books for your next master's or PhD. Yeah. Okay.
I would like to add another point that anyways, when you're doing a graduate school, anyways you're going to read. Like there will be some courses, and if you're joining for integrated PhD or masters, you're anyways like classical mechanics, quantum mechanics, all the courses are anyways there. So taking a break doesn't make sense because you're going to study those subjects more rigorously with a prof, with your friends. So I don't see a point in taking a break if the exams could be cracked.
I mean, if it's not for cracking exams, I mean, you weren't able to go through JAM or just and you have nothing else to do, yeah, fine, we are pretty much not. But if you're a typical engineering student, I'm going to Indian uncle this. If you're a typical engineering student, you will be behind already 1 year behind a BSc student. Okay, yeah, BTech you are 4 years. A BSc guy is already 3 years. You're already 1 year behind. You drop one more year, you'll always be 2 years older than your peers. Okay, imagine that. I'm 26. My colleague is 24. Okay, that will make, first of all, that gives you some stupid insecurity. But other than that, it'll affect you when you apply for assistant professor positions. Okay, when end of the day, that is the goal, right? If you want to stay in academia, you want to apply for an academic position. They are like insanely competitive in India because there are the supply versus demand, right? There is a 29-year-old hotshot postdoc who were working with 25 papers and coming and apply. You are a 31-year-old and you come back and apply. Imagine like who will get selected. Okay, so there are age restrictions that you should always be aware that now when you are 22, everything is hunky dory. Okay, I'll take 1 year drop. I'll start my studies at 23. But when you're applying for a position at 29, that is completely different when you're applying for a position when you're at 30. Okay, that 1 year, now you drop it, it'll be costly for you. Okay, I know I'm speaking like an Indian uncle, but this matters in academia. Okay, so if unless it's absolutely necessary, don't do it. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Okay, so one is asking how to self-learn statistics. Would it be recommended and would it be good to go through the NPTEL curriculum, and also how to manage your time while preparing all those competitive exams? So learning statistics through NPTEL courses, is that good, recommended? Anyone?
Well, I don't know in particular, haven't seen in NPTEL lectures, but I can say we have a good repository of reviews and other brief details about what a particular video course is. Maybe they can check them out from there if that can give them idea. Because I see here not everyone has done a course on StatMech from NPTEL here. So yeah, probably I guess we can move on to the next one. And yeah, please.
I've done a statistical course, but I have done other 2 courses from NPTEL, and I can assure that like most of the courses from NPTEL are standard. Like whatever I have followed, they are pretty good courses in terms of assignments and exams, and yeah, they are pretty good.
Yeah. So just one last question. Someone is asking your thoughts on distance learning. So would you like to put some light on this distance
learning? Okay, I haven't done something. Well, distance in MSc, first thing I can say is like there are no good institution in India that gives a distance in MSc or a distance in PhD. So I think, I mean, if you're really good by yourself and you're just looking for the sake of a degree, then it makes sense. Otherwise, these institutes are so bad that you actually end up wasting time preparing for their exams and stuff because they're pathetically designed and not really good. They probably will require you to give stock answers and stuff. And I'm talking about universities that are some names of universities in Bihar and some in Karnataka and all. So I don't think that that's a good thing, especially in India. I don't know if there are any good institutions that offer distance MSc or stuff in India. So that could be a big issue. Yeah. And yeah, adding to that, there are other things like you'll need peers and other stuff. But yeah, if you are in a position where you can't really take up a regular course, like you have commitments, like you married, you have kids, and you can't really stay on campus and all, then yeah, distance, and you still want to do a degree, then by all means you should do something and get the degree. That much I would say.
Yeah, right. So Tasmi is asking on how to manage time, like for your college exams, competitive exams, reading books and internship, considering your personal stuff also. So, anyone would like to answer? To manage time.
I just want a funny point that you can ask your mom or dad that he has done lots of things in the household thing and all the other things. So the thing and going to that, make a schedule that what we do and we could never follow. That make a weekly schedule that when I am going to wake up, when I am going to these things. When you have a 1 week schedule, you will say that 50% of the things you are not able to do. But if you have a schedule and you try to do the schedule accordingly, that you will have a half an hour of Facebooking, okay, half an hour of movie, and they will read 2 hours of study and go to the other things and other household things. So this is a kind of dynamic schedule. If you follow, then you will able to do the manage the time. Yeah, so
Yeah, very well answered. I think we have one more question. So, okay, now this is the last one. Now, Karthik Saini is asking that most of his MSc course went through this lockdown era. So, how to cope up and how to get to the level of a standard graduate physics student having such situation? So, I think his most of the MSc thing went in this lockdown period where he couldn't attend probably offline classes. So how to cope up with this? Anyone?
Vishal, you've been doing your coursework for the past year, right? You just finished your coursework, so you've done some online?
A few of them were online, but just 1-2 courses were online. So, but I was able to do the coursework really well because half of it was offline and half of it was online, and I was able to do it very well. It wasn't an issue for me.
Okay, you were on campus.
I was off campus, but still I was able to do it very well. So it's not like
okay.
I had issues. I was able to call my prof whenever I needed and talk to people, and because I was on campus for 1 year before as well, so I knew the people who were already there. So it was easy to communicate.
Okay. So no one has experience doing online. All I did was online. My experience with online was just giving online exams. So needless to say, they went pretty good. But yeah, nothing much apart from that was my experience. For anyone.
And also, it is. And also,
you had half the coursework in your pandemic also, right? Like you.
Sorry.
You also have your coursework in your pandemic period, right?
No. My course was finished last year in 2020. So exam was the only thing I gave online. Yeah. Wink.
Okay, cool. So now we come to the conclusion part. I would like Adesh to please conclude the session.
Before that, I forgot to mention one point from experimental perspective that you need not be very, very good at mathematics for doing experimental physics. So if you're a bit screwing up over there, then too you'll be able to do very well in experimental physics. Still you have the intuition and know how to get things done and the physics well. and the basic concepts well. If you don't do very high differential geometry and functional analysis and Lie groups, it's fine. Like if you're doing experimental physics, so you don't need to worry about those things for experimental physics.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Adesh?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so basically, to conclude things, I have used a meme here on this auspicious occasion of Einstein.
You muted yourself, Adesh, I guess.
Adesh, you muted yourself from the excitement.
And that became a meme now. So,
Adesh, is that your idea of meme? Muting yourself? Nice man.
okay. So
he left the meeting.
That was another trick. He'll be joining. Stay here for the meme, I guess.
Yeah, we got so many meme lovers here. So yeah, let's just wait for some time. Meanwhile, yeah, I'd like to thank all the panelists, man. Thanks a lot for joining in here. And yeah, Adesh isn't here. I'll wait for him to join so that I can praise him in front of his face. He did a really good job, man. That was really good. And yeah, we had a very good organizing team doing like 4 or 5 people working parallelly on this. So yeah, they compiled the questions. Someone was recording this, someone hosting the meet, and someone was reading the chat, all different things. And yeah, they're doing it pretty well. Almost, I'm almost like independent of me. So that's something I really loved about this thing.
Okay, Adesh has lost the connection. So
seems, yeah, all right.
I'll present it, and just on behalf, I will share the meme, I guess, more or less.
Yeah,
I'll conclude. Is the screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the whole hype around that was funnier than the image itself.
Yeah. So yeah, the takeaway from this is, there were a lot of questions. There were questions from theoretical aspect to experimental aspects to how to manage time to self-study, and a lot of great takeaway that even I didn't think about, like the one where not questioning the author first you should take what the assumptions are and what are you getting the results out of it. That was one of the things that I didn't consider, like while reading a text or something. But this is something that we need to put in mind, and I think it was of great importance. All of the points that the panelists put forward, that the questions were asked through the Q&A, and even the exhaustive list of questions that we had. So yeah, this was a great session to have. We all learned a lot. To all the people who are remaining there, please check out our YouTube channel, even the blog post that has been shared in the chat. There are a lot of resources. We'll be putting that along with the video. But feel free to check out the YouTube channel and join the Telegram groups as well. You will find a lot of content which is more or less related to this, and and we'll be doing a lot of this stuff around this in the future as well. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to the panelists. Like, thanks a ton for doing this. This was a really amazing session to have. Thanks a lot. Thank you everyone.